it's coming from both ends, and you have to make a decision.
Yeah, dude. You're a Chinese finger trap. In and out, dude. Both sides are occupied. It's
You
just
can't
gooey.
say your
just
belly button
gooey.
is pre-filled with jizz.
I just.
You lift the mattress up, and then underneath is like storage space.
Yeah, that's a back door, dude. That's a back door.
I'm just trying to find a way to Sam Fisher my way
Yeah,
in
I
there.
could see that. Yeah, you know what the biggest killer to any job is, or to chasing your dreams or passion or job, is fear, Ian.
Yes.
And there are a lot of fears out there. There are a lot of things that people fear, which leads us perfectly and seamlessly into our next segment,
Oh shit.
which is phobias. What? There's not a freaking shut the. All right, that was a better segue I could have ever imagined. I just got owned, dude. You just showed me the way. That was terrible, though. That was terrible.
Spider-Man.
Even with the knowledge that like I kind of knew what you were doing, just the 0.001% chance that there could be a spider behind me still freaked me out. I was still losing my mind. So we're talking about phobias. I thought that'd be a fun way to kind of get this show back on topic, which was just to talk about all the weird shit we do.
I think the fun part is you trying to pronounce these words.
That's why you're here, is to correct me.
Well, you go first, and then
right.
I'll take my best crack at it.
It will be funnier that way. So I listed. I found like what? These are probably like, I don't know, half a dozen or so phobias that are really bizarre. Obviously, arachnophobia, fear of spiders, is a very common one. I suffer from it. A lot of people do. But these are a bit more obscure. They're a bit more out there, a bit more bizarre. So the first one is arachibutyrophobia. Arachibutyrophobia. How'd I do? The fact that it's taking you this long. Butyrophobia. Butyrophobia. At any rate,
I want to say arachibutyrophobia.
Okay, emphasis on the tie. Okay, I'm not too far off. It's the fear of peanut butter, not just peanut butter, but the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. And I have to think that with all of these super irrational fears, there's something that happened in childhood or when they were younger that has led to this. I don't know if like this is. I have a hard time believing that this is just something that you were born with. It's some psychological thing that developed. There was an event, multiple events.
It could be innate because fear is hardwired into us, and sometimes it just misfires, it mistargets. But I gotta say, I like peanut butter sticking to the roof of my mouth.
It's kind of like its own plate. Like you have an additional plate in your mouth, or you have a plate in your mouth where like peanut butter can just live and hang out, and you can just just graze.
It's like a
graze.
peanut butter
it's nice
lollipop just mounted on the roof of your mouth.
Exactly. It's even better if you don't have any clean dishes.
Right.
He's like, well, dude, I got one. I got one right here.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice.
Yeah, no,
I think it's a feature. I don't think it's a downside.
Unless you have this phobia, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure I do think some people find the sensation of peanut butter sticking to the roof of their mouth to be unpleasant.
I could see that. That's different than a fear, though.
It's different, but it's probably worth mentioning in the context of this.
Yeah.
But that is a very, very specific fear.
Very specific.
So I wonder how fears get named. Like, okay, because let's say you discover a new species of animal. Like you're the one who discovers it and classifies it.
Yeah.
Typically you get a say in how it's named.
Right.
So let's say I discovered a new species of cat, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna call it Felis balsacus.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
The scientific community would be
they'd have to listen.
They would probably push back on that.
Do you think is that how it works? Is it like a democracy, or like even if you discovered it, they're like, no, dude, you're trolling too hard.
I mean, if usually there's some, I think there's some professionalism, but there have been some very good species names
Yeah.
that came out to be very, like a pun or
Okay. Yeah.
or kind of a play on words.
But the pun would
or-
probably have to make sense with what they found.
right.
Like
Or-
you could use that name for the girl because she kind of has balls. She has a ball sack of fat that just drags
Right.
on the floor.
Yeah.
I feel like your peers would be like, okay, we get it. That gets a pass.
or you could just name it after yourself, like Felis.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's very. I feel like that's super. That's douchey. That's a douche move
yeah.
to name anything after yourself.
Well, okay, not that
That's silly.
to name it after yourself. I mean, hey, you're a scientist. You did all the work. You found this new species. Like, you can take pride in it.
You can take pride in it.
A lot of times, though, new species will get named after people in honor of them or in memory of them or whatever.
That's different. That's different. That's paying homage. Like paying homage to yourself. Be like, I'm so great. I found this thing. Like, it could have been anyone. Anyone could have found it.
Well, I mean,
It's
the
also
same,
a
there's
wasted
the same kind of
opportunity.
personalities you see in Hollywood are not
Science
not
all-stars.
something that you can't find in the world of science.
Of course. And I condemn it in every industry. I condemn that behavior and mentality across the board.
Agreed.
I think it's a wasted opportunity for something more fun or funny.
So anyway, I wonder if, because a lot of species animal names are Latin based,
Yeah.
and I wonder if the same kind of algorithm is used for naming phobias.
I mean, this one I don't get because it's like Iraqi already makes me think spider, but it's about peanut butter. So I don't understand anything. This could be a scientist trolling us, you know?
It's not. It's our
It is Iraqi, but it's not Iraqi. It's Iraqi.
right.
So
Iraqi.
maybe maybe it was an Iraq dude. Could have been an Iraq dude, although it starts with an A.
So
At any rate, like, okay, I have a question. You
Yeah.
can tell me, you can answer honestly what you think. Is the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth, is that equally irrational of a fear as arachnophobia, spiders?
I don't know, because I've never met anyone who had a fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of their mouth.
Yeah.
Like, if it genuinely causes you to freak out and have anxiety, then
Same way I freak out with spiders.
then okay, whatever. Like, you have no control over that.
Right, of course.
So
But is it equally, are they both equally irrational, or is one, am I as crazy as the person that has this?
I wouldn't say either of you are crazy. I would
Okay.
say you are both
Silly.
just afflicted by a very specific fear.
Yeah.
I would say that it's outside of like a professional mental health setting. I think it's probably hard to take that particular phobia seriously.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But, I mean, that's...
oh, hey, look, an actual maybe spider or
where?
cricket.
Oh, my God. That's a spider.
All right, well, I'm gonna do the thing.
You got to do it. I can't do it. You know, you have a job to do. Bro, it can hear us. It knows what we're...
Big one too.
It is huge. No. Are you really trying to kill it with a cable? You did it. How'd you do that? God. It's just it's your fearlessness. I feel like you're way more effective in battle when you have no fear. Which is why, like, I can't kill spiders for shit, because I'm like dancing around them. I'm panting, hyperventilating,
Dodging.
I cannot believe a giant spider, and that you saw it from across the room. It's a big room. You saw it from across the room. I mean, it is huge. But as we're talking about arachnophobia, the fact that, like, okay, I'm freaked out.
I think your level of arachnophobia should level up.
No,
because they know when you're talking about them.
they can hear me. They're listening. That's even more terrifying. That is even more terrifying. All right, we have to move on from this. I don't want to talk about spiders anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
The next one is xanthophobia. Fear of the color yellow.
Ah, good pronunciation.
Now,
I
okay,
approve of that.
here, okay, xanthophobia, right? It's fear of the color yellow. Like school buses might freak you out, because especially because it's large.
Yeah.
Honest question: if you have xanthophobia and because of your xanthophobia, you're afraid of Asian people, does that make you? Are you
okay.
racist, or
Here's
are you
the thing.
just xanthophobic?
Asian people are not, in fact, yellow. Like yellow.
Well, we all perceive color differently, though.
I guess.
What if someone who's xanthophobic sees similarities in? Okay, maybe it's not even Asian people, but it's just
if
some
somebody
skin
who's
tones.
afraid of the color yellow,
Yeah.
is afraid of Asian people, I'm gonna chalk it up to their mind associating Asians with the color yellow and transitively applying that fear to people who are Asian.
What if there's a fear of the color white, and they're afraid of super pale people?
Move to Africa.
That's a great answer. Just get the fuck out of here, dude. What are you doing in America? Don't ever go to a goth show. God, you just you shit yourself. Fear of the color yellow is wild, though. Of a color, like,
It's gotta be
debilitating.
super. It's gotta be super rare. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure all of these are, but they exist enough for them to like name it, right?
Yeah.
Globophobia, fear of balloons. Okay, I knew a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I knew a guy with this. I didn't know it was called globophobia, but he was one of my ex's friends, brother-in-laws, or whatever. Tremendous fear, terrified, debilitating fear of balloons. I remember going to a birthday party once, and I was like, "Where's his name?" I was like, "Where's the guy?" And he's like, "Oh, he knew that we were bringing birthday balloons and stuff, so he's in the other room until the balloons are gone." And like, this is a grown man, our age, roughly our age, cool guy, and perfectly normal to talk to him otherwise. Perfectly, you have no idea, but the sight of a balloon, even from far away, he was like, no. He'd have to leave the room, and then I would like talk to either. I think it was like one of his relatives about it. Like, why is he? Do you know? And it's like the fear of like them popping. It's like the anticipation, the stress, the anxiety of like it could pop at any moment. That pop, that bang, that loud sound is so stressful to him. He has to remove
in their
himself.
mind. It's like a landmine waiting to go off.
Yeah. And it's like for most people, it's just like, okay, it's loud.
I think I've experienced a tinge of that when I'm blowing up a balloon.
Okay, that's a little different.
And I'm like trying to go like
in your face.
Yeah, and I'm trying to blow it up like to maximum capacity.
I think that's normal though. To be like,
you get a little bit of the yips.
Yeah, so it's just that amplified tenfold.
Yeah, just ever present. If there's a balloon in the vicinity, you're like on edge, waiting for the shoe to drop,
right,
or the balloon to pop.
I guess it's also kind of just like balloons are so just on their own, like standalone. They're so like quiet, and they're almost so peaceful because they're floating. They're kind of just chilling. So maybe it's also that contrast
of
calm before the storm, the absolute just silence,
serene floating presence that could explode any second.
It was almost like that Reddit story.
Yeah,
right.
The horror of blimps.
Yeah. One of those, dude. I mean, that's the only thing that could make that story more horrifying is if the blimp popped and made a loud noise.
Yeah, that would have
startled
probably
the shit out of you in the middle of the night. That would be insane. Oh, all right. Omphallophobia. How'd I do?
I'm gonna give that a B+.
Omphallophobia? B+? What would you say? Omphallo?
Okay, I'll give you an A.
Because you have nothing better. That's gotta be how it's pronounced.
I gotta try to nag you sometimes.
All right, I feel that. But make it, it's gotta be real. It's gotta be genuine. Fear of belly buttons.
You could just get plastic surgery and get your belly button removed.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you can get anything removed.
That happens with tummy tucks.
They're just like, I don't need it, or they just they have to remove
that's just you're taking loose skin and tightening it up and everything.
Yeah, right.
I think I've seen a few things. Do they still make those super cheap pulp magazines at the checkout, at a grocery store, like the celebrity gossip rags?
Like People magazine?
Not People. Like I'm talking like really cheap paper and like the ones that had
like a TV guide made, like where it's just literal newspaper book.
There was this one reoccurring.
Why can't I remember it? Never paid him much mind, but
they used to be like Marilyn Manson seen hanging out with Vampire Boy.
Okay.
Adopts like
total like gossip gibberish, like bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. They still have like US Weekly and like that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, those are probably the same standard.
And that's pretty cheap paper from what I recall.
Well, fear of belly buttons. I don't know how. I mean, you just stay away from the beach, right?
Yeah, but I mean that would be tough if you were like in bed with someone. Like if you were like hooking up with someone and they take their shirt off, you're like, oh, can you cover? They're like, my boobs. I'm like, no, your belly button.
Just put a pasty on there.
Just put some peanut butter in there. It's another plate, dude. That's a bowl right there.
No,
dude.
No, I mean,
let me lick it out of there.
You just
right?
slap some masking tape on it and get to business.
Or like the paste for filling holes, like nail holes in the wall, like drywall.
No, it's
patch it up.
It's not a fear of a hole. It's a fear of that anatomical thing. Whether it's full of putty or not, it's still a belly button.
So even underneath, but if you can't see it, doesn't that mask some of the fear?
That's why I said put some masking tape over.
Put some like little painter's tape or masking. Yeah. But I mean, filling it with peanut butter would also, if you like also used a squeegee.
What is filling it with peanut butter going to accomplish?
Well, I mean, what if it's like I've never met anyone with this fear.
Wait, I just had an idea for a murder mystery.
Oh?
Somebody's allergic to peanut butter.
Yeah.
They get seduced by somebody who has peanut butter in their belly button.
Ooh.
And then they have a wrap over it, and then once they get down to business, they just
peel it off.
Yeah, surreptitiously remove that, and then all of a sudden their lover is exposed to peanut butter.
So what if the lover is not only allergic to peanut butter but also has a belly button fetish, and the killer is like, I'll let you lick the inside of my peanut butter, the inside of my belly button, and then they dress their
like, oh, don't worry, it's almond butter, but it's just a thin layer of almond butter with peanut butter.
Yeah, right. Or they just like lie completely, like it's jizz. You
can't
gooey.
Say your belly button is pre-filled with jizz.
I just cum shat into my belly button. It was an alley-oop. It was a slam dunk. You're gonna get some.
If you can convince somebody that something the consistency of nut butter, which I'm realizing the irony of that word, is semen. Then,
but you said.
I think there's probably easier ways to off them.
As the killer would be smart enough to, like you said, cover it at first, so it's almost like a little strip tease. It's like a little belly button strip tease.
No, it's like a hidden murder weapon.
Right, but it's got to be masked with like some masking tape or something, or like a belly button lingerie or something.
No, you could just
right
put a
dive in.
You could just put a little dark flesh-colored plug over the top of it.
Yeah,
and then put a transparent window dressing over it.
Window dressing? Oh,
that. I think I've given you one before. It's like this really soft conforming, sticky, clear dressing you put over wounds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go.
Because that way it's not super visible.
Right. I mean, I think you could definitely fool someone, especially if you're doing the deed in the dark.
Oh yeah.
They'd have no idea. Dude, that guy would be dead as a doornail, 2 seconds flat. That's
of course, there's easier ways. There's easier ways to
to kill someone
using a peanut allergy.
I don't know though. That's a pretty good way because it's so like.
But yeah, especially if they're allergic enough that just being around it is enough to trigger an anaphylactic shock.
You wouldn't even have to go.
You just go and shower and clean your belly button out, real good, and then be like,
right,
that's the murder weapon down the drain.
Or just put a bunch of crushed peanuts in like a gel blaster gun and just like shoot them. They'd be done.
I'm sorry for all the people who have peanut allergies who are being having murder plots.
Just imagining different ways
thrown
for
around.
them to die. We're just inventing really creative ways for them to die. I'm just like, why am I listening to this?
Yeah, don't exploit somebody's allergies to hurt them. That's the takeaway here.
That's mean.
It is entertaining to brainstorm stupid shit like that, but respect people's allergies.
Yes,
take them seriously.
Be sensitive. Come on, guys. Geliophobia, fear of laughter. Damn, dude, that person would suck at parties. They would just like be freaking out. Geliophobia. Come on, it's not geliophobia. It's a G. Geliophobia.
I want to say geliophobia.
Gelio? You think it's gelio?
That's my guess, but I think yours is pretty solid.
I think geliophobia. Fear of laughter, though. God, just going to a comedy special would just ruin your night.
That's terrible because, I mean, laughter is
best medicine,
incredibly good for you.
It's such a like you're a tortured soul.
Hopefully it's fear of other people's laughter and not your own, because if you're afraid of laughter to the point where you are adversely affected by laughing yourself,
right,
that's pretty sad.
So that means like all those like try not to laugh challenges are basically like the same as a try not to be scared challenge.
Yeah, for
that person.
Yeah.
That would suck to, this is very selfish of me, but it would suck to have a friend with that. Like you're hanging out in a group.
I don't think you would have friends like that.
You probably couldn't.
You couldn't do it.
Because then they would like go in a group and you're like, all right, we can't be funny. We can't say anything funny. We can't, like, Johnny will freak out.
Yeah.
Johnny will lose his shit.
Because you're not gonna go to a book club with them.
No.
That would be more of a safe space for them.
What could you do? You could go to a horror movie. You could go see a scary movie with them. Like nothing about that was funny.
Go surfing.
Go surfing? No, because then like, what if you like laugh when they fall? There's some funny surfing moments. There's some funny surfing videos out there. Good like sports fails.
Go base jumping.
Geniophobia is fear of chins. Geniophobia, is that right?
I would say geniophobia.
Geniophobia, okay.
But
Genio.
It's a coin toss on whether either of us are exactly correct or whether it's completely different.
Okay.
Fear of chins.
Another body part.
Okay. If you have this phobia, does a beard fix that for you? Like, can you look upon my face and not feel uncomfortable or fear because my chin is obscured?
Well, we proposed the person scared of belly buttons, just like we put masking tape on the belly button. We acted like that would fix it.
Is it fear of chins in general conceptually, or is it fear of seeing chins?
Yeah. Are you afraid on contact? Afraid of just the sight?
Or just afraid of everybody because everybody has a chin?
This is one I don't understand. Like, I understand fear of laughter. I understand fear of balloons. I even kind of understand fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. I don't understand this one.
It would make sense more if it was like...
What's up with the chin?
Fear of Jay Leno's chin.
I think we're all afraid of Jay Leno's chin. I wouldn't know what to do in a room with that. I wouldn't know, dude. I'd be like, do I make contact or do I look away? Like eye contact? It'd make me nervous.
Yeah,
it's such a powerful chin.
It's a Chad chin.
It's a Chad
imposing.
chin, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really I'm projecting. I'm just afraid of I'm insecure with my own self. To see Jay Leno's chin, I'd fear that chin. Just looking in the mirror. I think fear of chins. Yeah, maybe someone got beat by a chin. You know, someone as a kid, their dad had a Jay Leno chin, and just wow, just whacked him.
Their dad just wrecked his fist on their iron chin,
Yeah, right.
and then they were sad because they hurt their dad's fist.
Could be it.
They're like,
That
"This
could be
is
it.
all because of my damn chin."
Yeah, right. Or maybe it was someone like like their father figure, someone that an adult growing up that was abusive, and maybe they had a prominent chin, and maybe like the chin was almost like a fist, in a way, like they wielded their chin around the house.
I don't know. What?
If it was a cleft chin, had like two chins. You're
How
outnumbered.
legitimate? How legitimate are these? Where did you source these
This
phobias?
is some article on Google.
Okay. Well,
Okay, I did fact check it with other random articles on Google.
Okay.
And they all like there was some overlap. I saw most of these pop up at least twice across different articles. That doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't legitimize them, but okay.
Doesn't legitimize them, but we're not trying to get a scientific paper published or anything. It's just a shitty podcast, and it's fun to talk about. Fear of chins. Don't understand it. If any of you guys are out there,
and you
scared
have
of
weird
chins,
phobias,
we actually will be talking about some of their phobias after this.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I got some of them.
I guess then,
some good
yeah.
ones.
If you have one of these phobias,
Yes, please let us know.
let us know. We want to talk to you about it. We want to hear about
I
it.
want to learn more about your fear of Jay Leno. Octophobia, the fear of the number 8. Eight's my lucky number. I could never fear 8. 8's been good to me.
Okay, so fearing a specific number, it depends. It depends. Like, okay, to qualify as a phobia, it has to be any exposure to this thing that triggers your phobia is going to cause
Yeah.
great discomfort and anxiety and fear, right?
Right.
So I wonder how much overlap that there is with like cultural aversions to particular numbers. Like I believe in Chinese culture, 4,
It's like death or something?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like it's considered a very unlucky number.
Right.
I don't know if that would extend to fear unless you're like, you go through your day. Like I had a week one time where the same song kept following me. Like every time I turned on the radio, I kept hearing the same song.
Was it a popular song?
Well, semi-popular.
Okay.
It was "Everybody Wants to Rule the World,"
Ah.
and it was weird. So if I went through a week and I was like culturally predisposed to be afraid of the number 4,
Yeah.
or just think it's a scary negative thing.
Yeah.
And I spent an entire week, and it was like 4 kept following me around. Like every time I turn around, there's something 4.
Right.
That would probably freak me out, maybe to the point of like
Yeah.
legit feeling phobic.
That's true. But that's like made up in your mind, right? Because it's like you're gonna see whatever you want to see, because every number is around you all the time. But the one whichever one you're scared of is the one is the one that's gonna stand out to you the most.
But I'm talking, okay, Monday you go and order McDonald's, and your order is number 4.
Okay. Oh, you're
And
saying
then-
if it really is like
Yeah.
very that like coincidental.
Yeah, like the week that I had this song following me around.
Yeah.
It felt like.
Yeah, if you were terrified of that number, yeah, that would freak you out for sure.
Yeah.
Because suddenly it's like it's validating your fear.
So
Oh, he's following me.
octophobia
Stalking.
is a fear of the number 8. That's very specific. I wonder how somebody with octophobia would do with an octopus.
That's a good question.
Because
Is it
I wonder if
things-
the fact that it has
Eight of
8
anything?
tentacles
right,
play into that, or
or is it just seeing like the number 8? Because I think the article that I was reading said that it could have something to do with the fact that sideways 8 is an infinity sign, and that could maybe distress some people, the thought of infinity. But
well, if you can't think about infinity without experiencing distress, then
That's-
you're not a human.
I think we all have octophobia. I just learned everyone has octophobia. But that could be an extreme version of it. Yeah, it's a good question. Like if there's 8 chicken nuggets, like an 8-piece chicken nugget, like does that freak you out? Like could you add one more or take away one?
You had me
Nugget?
at 8-piece chicken nugget.
Yeah, we're getting some nuggies. Fire that up, dude. No way I'd be scared of that. All right, last one is this one I don't know. Calagenophobia. Calagenophobia.
I'm just gonna say calaginophobia.
Calaginophobia. All right, it's a GYN. Okay. All right. Fear of beautiful women.
Well, if you have
I had that in high school.
phobia,
I definitely had that in high school for sure.
yeah.
And college.
If you have that disorder and you are a homosexual man, then
Checks out.
that's probably the best case scenario. Otherwise,
No harm, no foul.
yeah, that's. Wait, so if you have a fear of beautiful women,
Does that mean your standards are low?
that's the question, because you're genetic, you're programmed to want attractive women. So if you
Sure.
have if you have a irrational fear of attractive women,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that doesn't mean that you don't still want them. You're just terrified of them.
Ooh, yeah.
So it does. So most likely you end up settling for more, less conventionally attractive women,
Okay.
who don't trigger that fear in you.
Interesting.
But that doesn't mean that you don't.
Aren't attracted to them.
Right.
That's great. Yeah, that's interesting. This is like the one fear on here that's like you're simultaneously attracted to and fear this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's almost like you're hardwired to want that.
Typically.
But
yeah.
then if there's, there's some aversion to it, then, I mean, that would suck if you were like dating a guy and then you find out he's like, oh yeah, I have calaginophobia. You're like, what's that? It's a fear of beautiful women. You'd be like, shit. That would suck, dude.
I mean, I don't think it would get to that point, but
You
if
don't
it
think
did,
so?
I mean,
If you had that, if it was a prominent thing in your life,
I don't. If you
were
had,
dating
if
someone
you had
long
that
enough, it would come
phobia,
out.
if you had that phobia, I don't think you would be dating an extremely attractive woman in the first place. I think your phobia would prevent it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if you're the chick that this person is dating,
Oh,
and he tells you, I'm terrified of beautiful women, then you're like, damn it. You're like, shit.
Can you look up what the name is for phobia of snakes?
Ophidiophobia.
Yeah, I was just looking at a map today of.
Are you afraid of snakes?
Okay, so I was talking about fear of snakes today because I was looking at a map of what's the most common dream around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in the United States, it's your teeth falling out,
Okay.
and in a lot of Europe, like modern Western world, European countries, same thing. But you go to South America, most common dream is snakes, lice, babies, and pregnancy, and then snakes and snakes.
It's just a lot of snakes.
But then you go to Australia, it's teeth falling out.
Yeah.
You go to
It's more of a Western.
yeah, and then
culture.
it's really interesting because most common dream in whatever country is a death in the family or money. Or,
For where? Here? Like in...
No, United States, teeth falling out.
Where is it for money and death in the family? You said it was like an Eastern country?
Let's see here.
I get why snakes, though, for those countries. Like, I was in Thailand. I went to Thailand, and there was like... We were on a tour, just this little village, and then we just hear, like, we were eating this nice meal at the top of someone's house, and then we just hear, like, yelling, like, screaming. We look down. There's just a snake. Like, there's just a dude beating a snake. He's, like, pushing the snake out of his house, and then just, like, beating it with a broom. And then, like, everyone around in the village is, like, just, like, gathering around, like, oh, it's a snake. And then it was a cab driver. It was actually our cab driver. He was just beating the shit out of a snake. And then I was like, does this happen often around here? They're like, oh, yeah, there's snakes everywhere.
Okay, so
They don't have, like, closed homes. They're not airtight like these ones are. Snakes just get in.
Interesting ones here. We got I messed that up. It was just the dead. That's Pakistan.
The dead.
Yep.
That's what they dream about. The
Ex
dead.
relationships for Japan. Falling into water for South Korea. The Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Taiwan, snakes.
Whoa.
Cambodia,
Thailand is
crocodile.
on there. That makes sense. It checks out. Crocodile for Cambodia.
Interesting change. Bhutan, rainbow.
Bhutan is rainbow.
Yeah, and then head to.
I want to move to Bhutan. They're
Like-
dreaming about rainbows. We're dreaming about fucking our teeth falling out and snakes killing us.
Yeah.
Good God.
And then
Crocodiles.
you got let's head down to Africa. You got
Elephants.
pregnancy, Morocco.
Okay, I wouldn't guess that.
Baby, Tunisia. Blood, Cape Verde.
Just blood.
Just blood. That's what it says here. Mali, again, the dead. Niger, death. Nigeria, sex.
Nice.
And then
Bhutan and Nigeria just went to the top of my bucket list.
Senegal, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivory, snake. The Congo, snake.
Damn.
Wait. Sorry. Tanzania, pregnancy. Rwanda, wedding. Ethiopia, shoes.
What? That's funny.
Just shoes.
That's Ethiopia's the last country I would have thought. Well, or maybe it's like, because they maybe it's like because it's a poor country and they don't have like as many material things.
I think if
what kind of shoes?
a lot of
Louis Vuittons?
these, except for your teeth falling out and death and cutting hair, seem to be things that like your subconscious is really focused on.
Yeah. Do they not wear a lot of shoes in Ethiopia?
I couldn't say.
Maybe they're like barefoot a lot of the time. That could make sense.
Botswana, eating.
Eating, I like that too. That's fun. That's a good dream.
And South Africa, just money.
Snakes kind of make sense too. It's like not only are snakes around, they just like they slither their way into your house, but it's also like there's a religious context
Yeah,
with snakes that I think
there can be.
that has kind of permeated a lot of parts of the world.
See South Africa or South America on the left there.
Oh no, not spiders. Argentina. Oh, maybe I shouldn't go to Ecuador later this year or next year. I might start dreaming of spiders. I never dream of spiders. Knock on wood. Baby, lice, baby. It's so varied. Mice. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I feel like
So many of these things are, start of life or end of life type things.
yeah.
And then it's once you get to the really developed, countries like the United States, a lot of Europe,
Right.
Australia, New Zealand, teeth falling out.
Yeah, it's more of a cosmetic thing.
I think
It's like, oh, we're so comfortable. Like, we have shoes. We don't have snakes. We don't have a problem with wildlife. We have plenty of healthy babies. We can, people live fine just fine here. But God forbid my, front tooth is, crooked,
or your teeth
at
are
this
just
party.
straight up falling out.
just falling out. Because I think that's I think when you have dreams of your teeth falling out, isn't it like a sign of, you're insecure?
Some
like
yeah,
an
there's
insecurity
a
or
lot
something.
there's a lot of
Which makes sense.
competing theories out there, but they tend to kind of congregate in the area of
Self-image.
like self-image or like loss of control in your life,
Sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair,
That's
a
everything.
lot of people in the United States don't have a lot of control of their life.
Yeah.
It's very much determined by
Politics.
politics and big business. So,
Yeah.
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 have you ever had a dream that you were driving, but you were in the back seat of your car?
No. I'm
I
always
had-
hands on the wheel. 10 and 2.
I've always
Like a good
I talked to
boy.
like 3 other people today who are like, You've had that dream too?
You're driving, but in the back seat.
Like you're driving, and then all of a sudden you realize, like,
You're in the back.
you're in the back seat of the car, and somehow you're driving, and it's like, this is totally wrong and scary.
I don't think I've ever had that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't recommend it.
So then who's in the front?
No one.
But then, like, once you realize that, do you, like, lose control of the vehicle? Or are you still like, oh, no, it's cool.
No, it's just like, oh, this is wrong. This is bad.
You're like, this can't end well.
Yeah.
This is going to be bad.
Like,
Yeah.
It's completely.
Which is also lost of control, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so.
I feel like most dreams I've ever had, I'm just, like, out of control, dude. Very rarely. It's happened. I've even had like a few lucid dreams where I was totally in control.
I've had,
but 99%, I'm just like, I wish I could do something about this.
Yeah.
I wish this wasn't happening to me.
Your subconscious is not going to put you in charge.
No, dude.
Most of the time.
It's just going to sabotage myself. All right. That's a nice way to just terrify our audience. And, there's some new fears that you guys maybe didn't know you had, or maybe you should try them out. Try being scared of random irrational things.
I'm afraid of hot dogs.
Don't be afraid of hot dogs. Hot dogs are delicious.
I have to be.
Okay. Cheese Tuber said, oh no, not Cheese Tuber. Oh, San. San said, reaching into stuff that he can't see. Reaching into stuff I can't see. Drinking out of an opaque bottle without looking down into it first. Endless water in like any direction, but even worse. All right, we'll get to the next one. That's interesting though.
Okay, let's start off with the first.
Start with the first. Reaching into stuff you can't see.
Yeah, I can relate to that a little bit. Like if you're reaching behind something, like trying to grab something that fell behind a piece of furniture or something.
Yeah.
There could be something back there.
Right.
But if you're like if you're doing urban exploration and there's like some interesting little nook where you're like, oh, the builders left a gap there, and you want to try to reach in there. Well, I wouldn't reach in there. I would put my phone up in there with my flashlight and be like, okay,
that's what he said. He said that too. Because I inquired about it further. I was like, expand, go on. He's like, yeah, I'm uneasy about it to the point where my mobility shifts a bit, but most of the time it's fine to push through. Other times I have to like shine my phone's light down into it and check that there's no spider or any other horrific shit in there. And if I don't, my imagination just runs fucking wild. So I'll almost feel like something's grabbing me. Something's going to grab me or like run across my hand. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a little bit of the fear of something under your bed, but like applied to anywhere where you can't. It's like a dark corner and you can't see in where you're reaching in.
Okay, I kind of relate to this, and this just crossed my mind now. Like if I'm sleeping on my bed, I can't hang my hand, my arm, or my foot over the edge of the bed. I feel like something's gonna grab me.
Yeah,
it's dumb. It's really dumb. I feel like a bitch.
I think that's something that it's very common in childhood, and sometimes it just never goes away.
Yeah, till this day, I can't do it.
Which means, obviously, at some point, I need to prank you by hiding under your bed and grabbing your shit.
Joke's on you, motherfucker. I don't have an underbed. It goes straight. It's solid to the floor, dude. And that was by design. I bought that bed frame specifically for that.
Does it have storage underneath?
Nope. It's just wood. It's just solid wood.
I've seen some cool ones where like you lift the mattress up, and then underneath is like storage space.
Yeah, that's a back door, dude. That's a back door.
I'm just trying to find a way to Sam Fisher my way in there.
I could see that. 2 steps ahead, motherfucker. Dude. So yeah, so that's the first part of his. The other one was is interesting. This one's interesting. He said, and I'm completely fucking unable to go do any errands in public if I haven't taken a shit yet that day. Stresses me out beyond control.
Is that because they can't shit in public?
He said, if I have to shit when out, I'm generally fine because I've had this problem for 10 to 12 years, so I know public toilets around my daily errands extremely well. And once I know there's a restroom nearby, I'm calm. I won't need it. If there isn't one, or I don't know of any, I'm like an inch from panic the whole errand and really can't focus on anything. I know some people refuse to shit elsewhere or out of their home or whatever. That's a luxury my life cannot afford to even want. I don't
So
enjoy it.
he has kind of that phobia, but he overcomes it.
Mm-hmm.
He copes.
Yeah, it's been over a decade plus. He's learned how to cope.
Okay.
But I mean, I hate shitting. I don't have a phobia.
You're
I just don't like
uncomfortable shitting,
Yeah,
anywhere but home base.
it's just icky for me. It's just icky.
even if you have like a sanitizing spray that you spray on everything first.
Yeah, because then you still have to, well, if it's a sanitizing spray, it's wet, and then you got to dry it.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, you're sitting on wet shit. So it's like even just like cleaning.
But if you spray a toilet seat with sanitizing spray,
Yeah,
and then you sit on it and it's wet, then it's also simultaneously sanitizing your ass cheeks.
yeah, but okay, just the wetness, wet ass, dude, wet ass on a public toilet seat? Hell no,
Okay.
never.
Okay.
I know it's like it's irrational because it's like that's actually sanitary. It's cleaning your ass, but it's the wetness, it's the wet feeling.
Okay. I
bothers.
can get
bothers
that.
me. It bothers me a lot.
Did we cover the drinking out of a container that you can't see into?
No, not really.
Was or did,
That was one
we
of
didn't
them.
get there yet?
We didn't get there. It depends. If it's something that I'm in charge of, like, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. Like if it's a Stanley Cup or something that it's mine, I own it. I fill
Yeah.
it up. Like I don't need to like look in there before like every sip, it doesn't bother me at all.
I'm wondering though, from what he said, is it something like if it's a beer that somebody else opened
Hmm.
and
Yeah, like a
and-
waiter serves them an open beer.
yeah, and like it's a can, right?
Right.
You can't really see in there.
Right.
Or is it more like reusable water bottles and stuff
That's a good question.
like that?
Because at that point, it's like anytime he'd always be like, "Oh, can I get a glass with it?" You'd have to pour it out.
Yeah.
You couldn't just go
And
Blind.
the sniff test doesn't work? I wonder.
to sniff to see if there's anything in there.
Yeah.
Well, it might not be something that you can sniff. It might be like a bug at the bottom or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if there's a wasp in your water bottle swimming around in the top of the water, you smell it, it's still going to just smell like water.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Lenticular. Thank you, Mike, for contributing here. His is cockroaches and certain shellfish, which look like roaches. Long time ago, not in a galaxy far, far away, but you never know. My then wife and I were visiting a friend, and said friend took us to Taco Bell drive-through. So we got our orders and cruising along, and I'm drinking the soda, not knowing what's going on. We get to our friend's house, and I finish my drink and poured the ice into the sink. A live cockroach crawled up out of my drink cup. Needless to say, that I've now got a phobia of roaches, and I've never been back to Taco Bell since, and that was in 1998. That would freak me out. I hate bugs.
I was at a restaurant with my family one time, and a cockroach fell from the ceiling, like out of a vent, or just maybe straight off of the ceiling, right onto
no.
somebody's plate.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
and they were just like, "Okay, I'm done. Yeah, you can replace my food, but I'm taking it to go." 'Cause
That would kill everyone at the table's appetite.
I would if that happened to me, I'd probably take the replacement food and eat it.
The replacement food. I don't know. It depends on, was it already kind of a shady restaurant where you're like, yeah,
And maybe not. Maybe not.
okay. It depends on the restaurant.
It depends on the restaurant.
Sometimes
If it
you're
was-
like, this
if it was a nice steakhouse and it's just like
There's a one-off
a
freak
one-off thing, like
accident.
statistically improbable, but things happen.
Yeah.
Then I might take a minute to go to the bathroom and check the health rating on the front of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, it's an A. All right.
Yeah.
I'll go. I'll
Yeah.
eat the replacement plate.
I mean, I think that I heard this recently on a podcast, if I remember correctly. But they were like, yeah, I used to work in the food industry. Just so you know, it doesn't matter what restaurant it is. There's roaches. Like, it could be a nice-ass restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They may have it under control more than shittier restaurants, but there's roaches almost in every single restaurant.
Yeah,
I'm like, I get that. There's the grease, the food.
and
the
a
humidity.
million places for them to hide out.
Yeah. I'm like, that's crazy. It's like, okay, it's something that I'll deal with. Like, I'll still go to restaurants and stuff. But I remember one time, this isn't food related, but I was in Taiwan at this like little hole in the wall restaurant. It was like a cafe. It was like a tea shop, really. and I had to pee so bad. And there's like, I was like, do you have a bathroom? And they're like, oh, it's upstairs. So I go upstairs, and it's like, you go upstairs and it's like this, their storage area. It's like a storage floor.
Okay.
There's boxes everywhere.
Sort of like when you go to the grocery store and you ask to go to the bathroom, and they're like,
Yeah, exactly.
oh yeah, you go through the doors
warehouse area.
into the employees only area, and there's a bathroom there.
Yeah, so exactly that. And so, but it's like tiny, small area. And so I go up there, and it's like, it looks like a scene from Resident Evil, dude. Like the lights are flickering. They're not even on all the way. They're flickering.
Spooky flickers.
Spooky flickers. And it's just me and like the bathroom door. I can see it down the hallway. It's a short hallway, and there's open cardboard boxes on either side, just flanking both sides that I just got to walk between.
Mm-hmm.
And the second I like turn down this hallway, I can see just movement. There's just roaches everywhere. I can see movement, like in my peripheral vision, just like things are moving. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I take a breath, and I'm about to go like beeline it, and then a roach falls from the ceiling, and it's so big, it hits one of the open flaps of the cardboard box, and you see the cardboard flap just do that.
It like bounced
thunk.
off.
You hear the thunk, and then you see the cardboard move, and I was like, I can hold it, dude. I didn't go. I just went straight back down. I was like, we're going to the next spot.
Oh man.
Yeah,
dude. I don't know. I think I may have, in that situation, I may have made the same decision. I can put up with a lot.
Yeah.
That may have they may have stopped me. I don't know. I'll have to see if I can test myself sometime.
Yeah. CCM said, I hate heights, have since I was a kid. Not entirely sure when it started. One of the earliest moments I remember being scared of them was when we were on a family vacation when I was a kid. I don't know, maybe 5 or 6. We were in, I think, Mammoth Cave and had to go up these big stairs. At least they seemed big to me at the time. And as far as I know, since then, I hate heights. Plane travel, for the most part, is fine for me. But anything over like an 8-foot drop looking down is a big old nope from me.
Heights is a pretty common one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
not afraid of heights unless it's like it's more of a fear of like me falling and dying if I'm not secured.
Yeah.
Like bungee jumping, like I guess there's a little bit of normal fear.
If you walk up to a railing,
yeah,
and there's a 2,000-foot drop,
yeah,
past that railing,
I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay. Yeah, because I'm like I know I'm not gonna fall.
But if you're climbing some sketchy, slippery stairs, and there's just a drop off to one side,
yeah, for sure. That's
a
whole
little
uncomfortable.
Deal.
Definitely. Yeah.
Legit fear.
I actually fear throwing up, says Lay JD. Since childhood, I had that. The fear of throwing up. Damn.
I hope that's not because they threw up on the carpet and got beat by their parents for it.
No, that'd be my cats.
You don't beat them.
I should.
You don't even barely muster an angry tone with them.
Oh, dude, I want to though, dude. I walked into the house because I went to Mel's on Friday. We came back Saturday.
Yeah.
Walked in, just a giant shit streak on that new rug. That's the third one. That's the third one since I got that rug. It was like this long, dude. I just like had to get the OxyClean out and just immediately upon coming home, I'm like, God.
I wonder if you got some.
It's terrible. That's my fear. Fear of giant shit stains on my rug.
I wonder if you could prevent that by putting just like some pure capsaicin and dissolving it in like an alcohol and then spritzing it on the carpet.
That might be worse than beating him.
So when you drag a cat's booty hole on it, it gets mega fiery.
That could be funny, but I don't know if it'd prevent the shit. Like by then the damage is already done.
It wouldn't, but it would deter further occurrences.
Yeah,
but
they get a first offense and then it's capped after that. Like
yeah,
that could be it. Or I could just start spraying like lavender because they hate the smell of lavender. Apparently.
Oh.
That could be like that. They have the cat deterrents or whatever. That's just lavender.
I think they're just attracted to fresh rugs. Like it's still got that new rug smell.
Well, I mean, imagine if you were an animal and like your ass was itching. I mean, like our asses itch all the time, but we can just use toilet paper.
Okay, they make scratching posts and stuff for cats. Why don't they make ass dragging
Dude,
like
that's
pads?
a great idea. I should just have a decoy rug. I should have just a don't give a fuck decoy rug.
Yeah.
God, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, and
That's a great idea.
and obviously they prefer the Charm and Soft rug to the you know state park bathroom cheap toilet paper.
Right. Yeah, the beach
rug.
toilet, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, get them a nice soft rug to
Yeah.
drag their asses on.
I should just get them a little 2x4 shit rug.
And then
That's smart.
yeah, do we how much more Discord phobias do we have?
There was just the guy throwing up. Oh wait,
We didn't really go into that.
we didn't. Fear of throwing up. That makes a lot of sense to me, because like throwing up is very uncomfortable, and it can be painful for some people.
Yeah,
I mean, even for me, sometimes throwing up is very painful.
you know, for me the worst thing about throwing up is when you throw up and it goes through your sinuses
In your up your nose.
as well as out through your mouth.
Oh, that's happened to me, but it's very rare. Doesn't happen often.
Yeah, I
That's terrible though.
it's real bad.
Especially when it's like chunky.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, it's like you got some salsa up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Tummy salsa. That's
Oh man,
that's bad.
it's like a mix of red and green.
Yeah, fear of throwing up would be tough. I don't know. I like when I know I'm going to throw up, like
Yeah.
you get that feeling. I just go and I make it happen. I'm like, if
Yeah.
this is gonna happen anyway, let me just get it over with, because then I'm gonna feel better.
100%.
If hopefully if it's a one-off thing. If I remember one time I got like a stomach flu as a kid, and maybe it's the difference in time perception between childhood and now, but it felt like a straight up week of me being out of school, like throwing up
From
I don't know, like maybe
Some
I don't
bug?
know, something I ate or what, but like
food poisoning.
I want to say it was probably a virus just because it lasted so long. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it felt like a week before I could keep down anything other than like chamomile tea or something super
That's crazy.
simple
Just
liquid.
throwing up the whole time, the whole week.
Yeah, like just like I couldn't get any solid food. I just could drink liquids, and even then it was touchy, and I
Good
had just
God.
like a horrible stomach ache the whole time.
Is that the sickest?
It could have
you've
been.
ever
It could have been 2 or 3 days, but to me, it felt like a week.
Have you ever been sicker than that?
Stomach wise, no,
Yeah.
not anything close.
That
At
was
least
the
at least in terms of like how long it lasted.
I got norovirus once.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one.
You got it before?
Yep, I've had like multiple members of my family have it at the same time,
Oh no.
and
Oh no. That's the sickest I think I've ever been. COVID was a cakewalk in the park compared to norovirus.
norovirus is brutal because there comes a time when you know that it's coming from both ends, and you have to make a decision.
Yeah, dude. You're a Chinese finger trap. In and out, dude. Both sides are occupied.
And you have to decide which end goes where and
Yeah.
how.
Yeah, I was lucky because at the time I was living with my grandparents, and their toilet, the toilet I would use, was right next to a bathtub.
Oh,
that was Gucci.
Okay, yeah.
It was nice. It was very nice.
You're describing that as nice.
Compared to what it would have been.
Yes, I agree. Nice
Yeah.
is the word.
Yeah. It was the only moment of relief.
I have a fear of norovirus.
Honestly, after that, I mean, it was almost traumatic how bad it was. I'm probably exaggerating, but it was the sickest I've ever been by a long shot. I can't even think of anything close to it.
Yeah.
In that, like a viral infection, and I almost went to the ER, but the only thing stopping me was that I could not even move. I was almost paralyzed. Like getting out of bed, lifting a finger was just it was an impossible task.
Were you able to keep liquids down?
For a part of it, I was throwing up a lot, but for part of it, I was eventually able to get liquids down. I mean, it was body aches beyond measure. I was just like almost convulsing and just so like freezing cold, but also sweating at the same time. So crazy fever. I was like 102, 103.
That almost sounds like food poisoning.
It was definitely norovirus because I remember I got it at Coachella.
Oh,
And it was that year where like all the news articles came out like that norovirus had just taken over
swept through.
because the porta potties were not maintained the way they should have been. Like they were well beyond any kind of like standardization or like protocol that they should have been maintained. And I remember the next year I went to Coachella. I brought my own personal tent. It was like a standing tent. It was a shower tent.
Yeah.
It was like just for an individual. And I brought a bucket and a bunch of trash bags. And I had my own. I had my own makeshift toilet and shower. I didn't touch a single porta potty the whole weekend. And everyone laughed at me. They're like, what do you do? What is that? What's the bucket for, dude? By the end of it, everyone was shitting my fucking tent. Everyone. Aaron, fucking their girlfriends. Can I use your tent? It's like, fuck, dude. Yeah. I know I'm a genius.
That's what happens when you make your own personal shit tent.
Dude, everyone wants to shit in your tent, dude.
Because porta potties are not a fun place to go.
I have a portaphobia, dude. Portaphobia, 100%. It's the worst.
Just slip in real quick and use the urinal. Can you handle that?
The urinal's all right, but a number two is brutal. A number 2 is brutal in a porta potty. I won't even. If I have to shit in a porta potty, I will. If I absolutely have to, there's no other choice. I'll hover. I won't even touch.
Okay, but isn't the whole thing like?
I won't sit down.
Well, actually,
My quads are fucking burning by the end of it.
I don't remember. I want to say if norovirus is airborne, then you're just fucked either way.
It is.
Okay, yeah.
It is. Yeah. So my ex, Heather, she got it first.
Okay.
She gave it to me at Coachella. So we actually had to leave a day early. But here's the thing. Because she got it at Coachella in the middle of the weekend, she was able to go to the med tent and they stuck her with an IV and just gave her the Z-Pack or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was like cured within 24 hours. I got sick the moment we got home.
So you had no support.
No support. Because I remember waking, and it's definitely airborne. Like, and because I was looking it up, and like, yeah, I woke up Sunday morning in the tent at Coachella, and there's puke on a pile of my clothes. I was like, what happened? And she's like, oh, I must. She blacked out, but she's like, that must have been me. Like I was feeling sick. Probably I've been feeling nauseous. She'd thrown up. I'd got it in the tent. I like caught it from the puke.
Yep.
And she was just right as rain by the time we left. And I just got we're like literally like pulling up on the drive. I'm like, I feel weird. And then within 6 hours, I was bedridden, wanting to die, throwing up.
At least you
shitting.
weren't feeling that way in a tent.
Yeah. But but she had like the fact that she got the Z-Pack, like she had all the medical.
She had already bounced back,
and it was like everything was free. You know, it's like they didn't charge you at Coachella because people are ODing on all kinds of shit. So it's like
they're just like better give them an IV just in case. We don't want to see them die.
Like and she was so fucked up. They had to put her on they had a little med golf cart pick her up, and she was like just on a stretcher in the back.
Dang.
They just like toted her to the med tent. And I was like, what the fuck is going on with her? Because she had never been that sick ever.
Yeah.
And then I got it right after. But
fluids,
I didn't have...
Fluids are important, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nuts, dude. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. It's brutal. But we have plenty more to talk about in the next episode.
Yeah, we just got onto a lot of tangents. They were fun, but
they were fun. It was a windy road. But yeah, the whole other segment that we're going to talk about next week, I guess we'll save it for next week, is people who have married inanimate objects or people in relationships with inanimate objects who consider themselves objectum sexual, which is actually a term that is used to describe these folk. There's some very fascinating examples that we'll get into on episode 38. But for now, thank you very much for watching this episode of Super Special. Make sure you follow the Discord, join the Discord. It's where we can pull a lot of really fascinating stories from you guys and keep in touch there. And make sure to like us and rate us on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. It helps us a lot. We'll see you guys next week.
And don't forget to be nice to yourself.
Be nice to yourself. Adios, guys.
Later.